Don't do anything that isn't play.
I love to play. It's just so easy. I love to play. The movement, the fun, I like to laugh and to be in connection with other people. I just love to play.
1, 2, go! Minus the breeze, minus the wind, minus the air and everything within, and minus the night, minus the darkness.
I see a lot of benefit in using games on many different levels.
I just want to play.
I think using games to build a group to start with, whether I'm working with them for a day or a half a day, I will usually do 2 or 3 activities, however short they are, to just break the ice, build the connection and get this fun energy that I actually associate with NVC, nonviolent communication, connection and fun. So that would be one level. And then I think very often I use games to create a physical experience around the piece of work I'm going to be doing.
And I often use games as metaphors for a message. And with children as well, it's so easy to give them a message and they find them out themselves. There are so many games in which you don't need any literature, or you don't even have to read. We worked in Ghana with people who are blind, or in Ethiopia people who cannot read and write, women who had low education. And with games you can open another world. It's really, yeah.
So I think games can be used to sort of create an experience and maybe a gentle shock to wake people up to a possible new paradigm.
When I start a workshop, I like to provoke a little bit, and I start this with a 4-corner game.
So I ask you to walk around, and first of all, when you eat, what would you like? Millepap in front of the cow over there, millepap, fruits, chocolate or steak. And please go to the corner now. So you now look at the other people. Who is with you in the corner? For example, the chocolate. Who is with me here? Do I know them? Maybe I look at the tag again and the name tag and just look at the other ones. You can see the people in the other corner. For example, you are in the steak eater corner and they are in the fruit eater or in the sweets or in the vegetables. So these are the vegetable eaters. These are the meat eaters. So we can a little bit categorize already. And now, who likes food at all? Who likes food at all? Please come to the middle. Okay, so we are together at the moment? Yes. Okay, and now the last one, which is very important for me, is I choose different religions. One is, can you please take it off?
In one corner is the word Islamism, in the other one is Buddhism, in the third one is Christianity, and here is traditional religion. And then I ask the people to get in the corners which they are most attached to.
So please go.
And And then they start to look, what's she going on now? And I like to really to provoke and get them out of their comfort zone. And then they are in their corner, look at each other's, and they see, oh, this is the corner of the Christianity, and this is the corner of the Buddhism. And maybe they look even a little bit down.
So here again, it's an us and a them.
Yeah.
Us who have no religion, and there are the Christians, there are the Islamic people. So it's again a category, a box. And to go out of this box, we look for the need behind it. It is spirituality.
And then I ask them, and who is for spirituality? And I put the sign up here in the middle, and then they all come to me.
So do you already feel a bit, realize the difference?
Yes.
How do you feel being here in the middle? How do you feel?
United.
Very happy, very grateful,
Happy, connected, happy,
secure at home.
peaceful.
Like we are one.
We are one, yes, exactly.
The universal need behind these corners, which are strategies to fulfill my need for spirituality. And then I ask them, why do you think that we have so many conflicts in our world? And then they realize, staying in the corner, looking down on the other one, this gives conflicts. And if we meet here on the level of needs, this is universal. Here we are connected. Here it isn't we. There it is us and them. And here it's we.
Have you done something that I would not believe you to do? Something. Anything.
And one chair here and one chair there.
Ja. Genau. 1, 2, 3 und die direkt gegenüber. Noch. Danke. Ja. Genau. Direkt gegenüber. I say 1, 2, 3, and then we put it down, and then you have to look who is opposite to you directly and say the name. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
So you sit in a group, one behind the other, and all looking upwards in one direction. So we will have one group here, one group here, one here, and one here. So. This arrived here.
This is arrived, and I think, I'm not sure, but it was this. Yeah, really, it was this. So it's, yeah. Applause here.
I have some experience with this exercise with children. They are horribly cheating. They are talking, repeating, so I recommend to be quite strict. No talking, otherwise it won't work. And then they start again and start again. So just tell them once, come up here with your hint, and then that's it. Yeah. And I did much more difficult things, like a car or a tree or a star. So.
Yeah, or this.
And they manage.
Something like that. You can make it 3 times, 4 times, like you want. You can give every row another symbol. You can give the same symbol. And a good idea is, after the first time, you change the roles. You know, that's a good idea. But in this big group, we didn't do it because it's too much. Yeah, but normally you would do it like this. Mm-hmm.
The nugget for me for painting on the back, let me just think, was one, focus and awareness. So actually being able to direct my attention, that would be the nugget there, and that's very valuable when learning to do empathy, making a conscious decision to focus. And the other thing will be generally this thing around touch, that it's a little sub-nugget, it's not really an NVC, that actually this sort of physical touch between people does masses to reduce stress hormones and to reduce aggression in a group. So I love, in terms of a very subtle community building, any games that involve safe, non-sexual touch, and this was an example.
No? Yeah? Okay, start. If you didn't. Oops.
The last one gets a sign with one feeling, like exhausted. And then he has to dip on the shoulder of the other one. He turns round and shows the expression of being exhausted. And then this one turns round to the next one, gives the expression, always the same. And then the next, and the next, and the next, till it's at the front. And then you compare the last one with that, what arrived at the beginning. And in this case, so often, it was totally different.
Relax.
Relax. What was it? Insecure.
And this is a sign for me how much it is interpreted. And so it's important to ask someone, if I see them, how do you feel or do you feel, and not just interpret it. And this is again the link between a game like this fax machine and, for example, the second step of NVC, the feelings. How do you feel? And really ask this, because this can lead to misinterpretation, yes, and disconnection.
Normally I use it just for fun. So what happens? We have stables. So a stable is like this. Two people are a stable when they do it like this. And in each stable belongs a cow. Come on, you are the cow. Come on. Yeah. So this is good. That is what we want. We want a cow and the stable. She can shout cow, stable or all. Yeah? So, guitar, stable. So all the stables have to change. Your turn to choose cow, stable or all.
Cow!
Last turn with Elke.
Oh!
I also like the game for the cow in the stable.
Yes.
The cow in the stable, because it didn't need any resources. It just needed a big place. You can do it outdoors, and it can be done with a larger number of people. And everyone has fun. It's a nice way to introduce people to each other. And it's energetic. It's an energizer. So I think that game was really very exciting for me.
So I need you in the circle with a pen. Okay, everybody has a pen in the right hand. So now if I say 1, everybody crosses the arms and gives the pen to the neighbor on the left side, and on the right side gets a pen. Yeah? Okay, so let's try it. Let's try it. Everybody has it in the right hand. And now 1. Okay? And then I say 2, and when I say 2, everybody makes like this and gives the pen to the to the neighbor on the left side, and on the right side I get one. We make one, then we give it to the left neighbor, and we take one from the right neighbor. That's the idea, yeah? We try it again. Okay, concentration. One. Giving and taking. Yeah. Two. Giving and taking. One. Woo. Two. Yeah. One.
Okay, down. Let it down.
Can we start?
Yeah.
Down, when you need also
I use it mostly in the sense of where am I placing my attention? Am I placing my attention quietly on myself in a meditative way and taking my own responsibility, or am I actually blaming and directing all this energy outwards? Put it down and it's all your fault and you're not doing it right. So I usually connect it to that, about where am I placing my focus and being in my own power rather than telling other people they're doing it wrong.
Down. Ever? Oh, what happened? Oh. Vivek. Down.
Yeah. Down. And down, finally.
Down. Yes. Vivek.
I really liked what Amelie actually said, that she asked the group, she harvested from the group what was needed to bring the stick down. She harvested that and then stuck on top of the stick the word project. So I think that would really work.
We will separate the room. So one group will be on one side, the other group on the other side of the room. So we have 3 roles, and each role has a sign.
Yeah, we have the old lady. The old lady has a stick, and the sign is this, to beat with a stick, you know. This is it. So just do it. Old lady, yeah. We have policeman, and the policeman is like this, yeah? This policeman, okay? And we have the thief, and the thief does this. Yeah, do it. Yeah, okay.
So each group agrees upon one role.
Yeah.
The whole group. Then you get together in the middle line, and I say 1, 2, 3. So when she says go, each group does their sign toward the other group. It's really important that everybody in the group does the same sign.
Yeah. Old lady beats policeman. So old lady with the stick beats policeman. The policeman arrests the thief, so it beats the thief. Yeah? And the thief attacks the old lady, so beats the old lady.
So once the gesture is shown, you have to be really quick to figure out, can you grab the other person because you win, or do you have to run away? So we have two limits, and once you're past the boundary over there, this bar, then you're safe. Okay, you have 10 seconds to make your decision.
About the sign.
role.
About the sign. Okay, 10 seconds to make your decision. So have you got a sign? Have you got a sign? Yeah, okay, then come on here. 1, 2, 3, go! Nobody should get injured. So,
no damage.
I have a little creative idea. I don't think it's handy to do it now, but I'd like to share it with you to think about when you go home. Changing the metaphor that Amélie has given us, which I think could be a little stimulating in itself, and actually choose 3 energy sources, so sun, rain, and wheat or something, you know? And we could find something that is actually not something is winning over the other, but something is complementary. So the wheat cannot grow without the sun. And the sun cannot shine if there's something not in the water, or, you know, I don't know, ecosystems, Etienne, anyone who knows about that. But I'm sure we could think about how we could do that, so the bashing together bit could be changed and more look for the synergy.
So the focus would be on support, not on winning over the other.
That's it. Yeah, what I was looking for there was the potential of the game. I could see in some circumstances I would not choose myself to push people into that old paradigm thinking, and also I would like to think carefully about, do I want to stimulate aggression potentially and division in the group, because that's what the game does in a very playful way. And there's a certain level of agitation that comes with that game, which is fun, but at the same time it does something with the group dynamic. First I started thinking about how could we change this metaphor, so I came up, I think, with sun, wheat and rain, and how those actually are complementary and feed each other, and how we could, I haven't solved it yet, but how we could possibly adapt that game to look at synergy rather than competition, and one beating the other one. So that was one thing. And then I realized that actually it would be quite fun to do the original version, the policeman, the old lady and the thief, and actually have people check in with what's going on in my body now. How do I feel while I'm doing this? And then do the other one and actually experience that, which I think would be very different, hopefully. And we would need to pilot that and try that out. And then there's another bit of learning in there as an experience.
One topic in NVC for me is, where's my own boundary? And in many games we were stepping over the boundaries and realizing, how does it feel like? Or we were pulled over our boundaries.
Yeah, what are my boundaries? And how can I make my boundary clear, which actually Susanna was trying to do? And how can I make my boundary clear when actually everyone's still in humour, but 1 or 2 people might be in pain? So I think that could be a really interesting nugget to get out of this game. And it's quite deep work, so I wouldn't do this with a beginners group. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed what you said. And also that whole group dynamic thing. How do I manage that if I'm in pain and everyone's having fun? And also something about power. So if I was doing something around gender, which would also be a very sensitive area, but indeed the experience of more than one woman and maybe more than one man, that sometimes physical strength is overpowering, and that actually more than one woman in the room can be frightened by just the physical strength of men, regardless of the warm heart inside. But that would be more in a gender and power dynamic thing, I think.
Yeah.
So,
you can transfer this to children as well. If there are very strong children, they have any chance to pull the other ones. And where are they then? And they want to be on their place and want to have them some space as well. I suggest these games with young girls or young boys who detect their own boundary and detect their own limits. Up to here I want to go and not further, or there are other people up to here, I let these people come close to me and not further. So this is my space, and this is one of the nuggets out of the games I take.
So the winners tap, and then the loser has to come across and not run anymore once you're tapped.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. One try with this.
There's one game or exercise I do with the participants. They first try to focus on themselves, was very important for them, like most of them, family is important for them. And then I approach them, and I approach them till they say stop. And then I ask them, how does it feel like? And up to here, it's a good feeling. If you come closer, it's tense. And then I tell them, okay, be aware of where it is, because this is a warning system. And then I approach them a little further, and then they are very tense. And then I go a step backwards again. And this is an exercise to realize my own limit, my own space. And I think this is very important for young children and young boys. To say no, to see this is my space, and not just let everybody get in and be open like an amöbe. It's very important to see this is my space, this is me, with my full power and self-esteem.
So there's always an awareness of space. I have to respect my space, another one's space too. So yes.
You tap it on the head and then the robot goes.
Yeah, and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And if nothing happens, the robot goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, goes and goes. And if there is a Hindernis, what's Hindernis?
Obstacle.
An obstacle. It makes like this on the place. Lödel, 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 lödel. Yeah, that is so. Der Roboter kann aber auch hier, du kannst mich auch hier.
The robot can also be tapped on the shoulder.
Und dann mache ich eine 90-Grad-Wendung.
And then it turns 90 degrees.
Ja, mach nochmal so.
So both shoulders work. So left shoulder, left turn, right shoulder, right turn. So, and if I wanted to stop again, I tap the head.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, our goal is for each leader to get their robots to be belly to belly.
So, jetzt mach du mal den Roboter. So it looks like this. Yeah, you see what I mean. So, So be careful, just don't go like this as a robot. So it's like more like this, huh? Be careful a little bit. Okay, but very important is don't forget the lödel. That's yeah.
Please make groups of 3. Make sure that you can reach the head of your robot.
Then go.
Adults like to play. It's just another world.
So if you play the game with other people, with other participants, it will always happen that somebody is touched on the left and will turn right, or tapped on the right and will turn left, or that they don't stop when you touch them on the head. So you have to learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it would really kill the fun and the joy in the game if you stopped it and said, no, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. So it's better to learn to deal with it and integrate it and go, oh, that's life.
Yes.
I did not enjoy playing robot when I was facing a wall and I was like, and then I was hoping that my master will come and she will touch me, but nobody's coming. Oh, she has just switched on me and then forgot. And many times in our jobs, in our lives, we are doing things with the same energy of a robot, which is not life-serving. For me, it's a very important insight which I'm taking from that game. That when you do things with taking responsibility, not like a robot, but like a human being. And it's a big question to me that how many times in my life, in my job, I'm doing things not like a robot, but taking decisions for myself, doing it with the joy of contribution.
But I think if you were to play this game with children, and if you want to also weave in decision making, for example, or self-responsibility, these concepts of taking, self-responsibility, trusting each other, I think that a robo game can be very helpful with children to bring out these concepts. Do you enjoy being a robot?
Yeah.
So in class, your teacher is giving you some instructions, and if you have to say, okay, I don't agree with this, then is there a way of saying it rather than being rebellious? Because then if children are rebellious, they're labeled as difficult children, and then they're treated that way. There's a judgment in it. So that robo game could be an interesting way of starting a conversation for, to bring out these concepts.
I also see it very interesting if I am playing with students and teachers and we mix them, and two teachers are playing a robot and the student is the one who is giving instructions. That is also breaking these boxes.
Yeah, the power dynamics.
The power dynamics, changing it, shifting it, and the paradigm shift that we are talking about here. The paradigm shift. It will be a paradigm shift. It will be interesting.
It will be interesting to
how did you feel?
So the penguins walk like this. Yes, like this. So, okay. And we have one person in this room, and she is like she does it like this, but very slowly. That's good, that's good. But if she touches a penguin who tries to run away, then this penguin gets wire at once, yeah, and tries to catch other penguins too. Yeah, and the game ends when everybody is like this. No good idea. Okay? Yeah? Did you understand? So, and you can just run here through the whole room, but please stay in the room. Don't run outside. Okay, we start. Ready? Yeah. It works like this. Everybody of you should think about a number between 1 and 6. So you think I'm a 3 or I'm a 2, I'm a 6 or whatever. So everybody now have your number? Good. So I take this dice and I will do this. And then I shout this number. I shout 5, for example. And then all the people who thought about 5 before, they go down very slowly, but very slowly, in slow motion. And they make, oh, you know, not really on the floor, but oh. And then other people have to, very quick, to go there and hold them, yeah? Support it so that you don't fall down. And then I make another number, and so on. You understand? Yeah? Okay, so I show the number. 4, take your hands, make a circle and take your hands. And the first, what I do is I give you a number. So you are number 1.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Okay, the first was the 1 goes forward, the 2 goes back. Then we change, and I will say change, and we do it very carefully, okay? So now the first one. And change. Okay, and go back again. Okay, wow.
That's for me very much about trust and mutuality and daring to be my full self. Trust in myself, daring to take risks, you know, walking into my fear, which is for me very much to do with nonviolent communication, identifying what I'm afraid of and walking through it. And also trusting in a group, trusting in the connection that there is, and that if I'm willing to be in my full authenticity, to really be who I am, so to really lean forward or to really lean back, then actually the group is much more stable.
Tap into the wing. Or to make this. And it's not allowed to touch it.
And if we are four, then we need to be divisible.
Janet and Martha, right? Me and Baba.
We will exchange products.
How does a group of people deal with a leader that stands up and says, okay, let's do it this and this, and how can I then express myself if I'm feeling unhappy or express gratitude? How is a decision made in a group? So I would use it in that way, and maybe it would take a whole afternoon then. So I really enjoyed that this was quick and fun, and actually I could see that this could be a whole afternoon work of constantly going back to the game and re-examining a little nugget. Am I making proposals, or am I saying, well, wouldn't it be nice if we did this? And then someone else says, well, it might also be nice, and 10 minutes later we're still talking about what might be nice. It's a little bit in my allergy zone.
In a normal situation, we would have said, okay, you be this, you be this. You know, someone assumes that leadership position, but because there is a collective NVC consciousness, we are mindful of that, and then we're always asking that, is it all right for you? Are you comfortable to do this? It's not just during the games, but even otherwise, in you know, whether we are in the dining room or we are just in our own rooms, we're always mindful of the vocabulary, and I think that is a big contribution.
It looks like a hyena.
I bring you food.
Your Holiness, I am very happy and privileged to meet you on behalf of two organizations.
We support the free Tibet. We support the free Tibet.
I like the Mission Impossible one, where there were so many challenges, and at the same time, we were in the group. There's a certain level of competition that comes in, and you want to compete. At the same time, you don't want it to be an aggressive competition. You want that competition to only be a driving force for within the group. Not to destroy the other group or to do harm to the other group, but to motivate and drive you. So I think that works very well with children, and that thing, that those groups forming that Mission Impossible game was a really exciting one.
One participant, he said, competition will guide us to war. And my opinion is, it's the awareness to which extent I am competing with others. In NVC circles, I realize sometimes competition is you have to avoid. And I think this is a label, because competition can create a community on a special level, playful. For me, competition is full of fire, and it's developing. I mean, I'm a biologist, and without competition, in this case, there wouldn't be any evolution. And economically, we need competition. That's my opinion. Competition can have very joyful moments, just not over the other one, but just to be with the other and fight a little bit, and you are still friends. It's just some fire in it. Just with children, they like to fight and combat. For me, NVC is not soft and no competition and always cooperation. For me, NVC is clear, and a little bit of competition is really possible. My opinion. I hate labels. I just try to avoid them wherever I can, and I don't know if it's with the help of games or anything. I hate labels. We choose this game because we thought we cannot offer any games with ropes and any material which you won't have. And as every country has a lot of garbage, we choose a lot of this one. This material you can work with. Because everybody of you has material like this and like this. So this is our aim, to show a game in which you do not need much material.
Four different groups with the same task. Yeah. So, and another group with the fifth group has to build another thing, not a channel, but a pool. So a pool which where the
captures,
where the marble can fall in. Yeah. And the difficulty is now that the pool must fit to the channels. You have 4 channels, and the pool must fit to it.
Four groups in separated rooms, and you can stay in that room. The channel stays in this room.
Except the pool group. The pool has to be built so that it can be moved, because the pool has to be carried from room to room to catch the marble. You understand?
The pool needs 4 exits, which can be adjusted to the single groups.
Do you understand? Yeah. It is necessary that you nominate a minister of communication who will make the necessary arrangements with the pool specialists. Yeah? A delegate of the pool specialist will come to visit you. So you are not allowed to leave your room, but the pool specialist will visit you, yeah, and talk to you. Yeah? Building sites of the others are top secret, and visiting is strictly forbidden. You are not allowed. Yeah, you are not allowed to go to the other groups. Yeah. In each group we have 2 observers, and the observers get 2 questions. They don't build; they just observe. Okay, quiet please. Oh my. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
So we invite you that you, looking at all the observations and notes, that you find the most essential thing that you learned in this way of working with each other, that then you bring back to the large group. So the learning that we're looking for is about communication and cooperation. Yeah, that's what we would like you to bring back the essence of what you learned.
Yeah? Okay. So at first, groups, about 8 minutes, and talk with your observer.
Observations, learnings, the essence of what we're looking for, what you learned. So, which group would like to start?
I just realized now, I think for all the groups, there's a saying, start with the end in mind. I think, especially also in our group, we started from the top, and then we realized at the end, oh, we're running out of time. I think if we would have started from the end, built the drop, and then start building up, we would have had no problem with your group to integrate it. So starting with the end in mind, maybe starting from the end and build to the start, not start from the start and build to the end.
Great learning for all of them. That would also address your challenge for the pool group.
It's that cooperation and collaboration that is strengthened through these games.
Yeah, I will call it that this is about creating communities, and in communities, to create community, these games are very important. Very important for me to bring all the community members' participation together. So we like decision making and everything, and we are using everything which we are experiencing.
And what I understood from the game with the marbles was that it was very important that there was a clear understanding for the people who were holding the pool group about that the connection would actually be made, that actually one fitted with another. So I might be able to link it that way about what language am I using, how am I translating what I would call fundamental NVC skills and making them context applicable in the context I'm at, and relaxed and in flow rather than cognitive.
All the games that we played here, it's a resource that we are taking back, and with every game there is a NVC nugget attached to that. So when we talk about NVC, it becomes easier for us. We work for children, so we keep children in mind when we are doing anything. Yes. Connection before education. So for that connection, for me, play is very important. And I have seen, this is my experience, that when we bring play inside, we get connection and everything becomes very easy. The sharing becomes easy. The giving and receiving becomes easy. We are thinking about it that Giraffes of India will come up with a 2 days or 3 days workshop, which will be let's play.
Yes, it'll be game oriented, you know, and then we bring out the consciousness about NVC, the concepts, the principles. And
one characteristic of games is for me building bridges between the people. On a totally different sense, not in their heads, but here on the heart, and with joy and fun and laughing.
Before, I use game just as a filler. If participants are sleepy, just like icebreaker. Just realize now that actually games could be tools actually to impart knowledge. So with games and stories in the game, they're a very powerful tool for learning.
Games is the best way of passing a message, especially to the youth who are easily distracted and bored when they are meant to sit and listen to long topics.
To me, what inspired me is that it's one of the ways which will help me to implement the learning to slow learners. I think by using the games, the slow learners can catch up the message easily.
I was actually inspired by the way these games can create a friendly environment very conducive, and the yield of the warmth that can be generated it yields motivation and increases connection and makes really work enjoyable.
And also developing team building along with the other simulated skills, which is like, for example, leadership, teamwork, and also creativity.
Most of the games that we have played had very little to no resources, no materials required. So we have used absolutely no materials, so there is no cost involved. So anybody and everybody can play these games. And because while playing games we are using all our senses and our body, the learning also remains with us. It's not just in your mind, the learning remains with all your senses and your body.
And it also improves the retention of ideas and learning, and also increasing of enjoyment.
Games are one way for me to make any sort of a session very interesting, so that there is no segregation between any kid. Even if he or she picks up slow or fast, they're all in this team together, and it builds up a really good a healthy competition, which is really good.
I will share the experience with my colleague, and I will also start some games with my children I'm working with.
I'm taking back games that I can play with my students as young as kindergarten to as old as high school students. I can also play some of these games with my teachers for team building and my parent community.
I'm just eager because these games will be added to our pool of games that we already have, and now we have varieties to give to these kids.
And I see the power of games in building better communities.
I would love to put some games, especially when I will be back home, and facilitate something about fighting about the cyber sex. This is the most. I think that this is the most effective way that they will more learn about the topic that we will giving them, or awareness that we will share them, and also increase enjoyment, not through learning, but they can enjoy all of it.
And the same game which I used to play for ice breaking, I'm now taking it back, connected with NVC. So a lot of games, a lot of activities, and full trust that I can share NVC with anybody, with any group now.
And I believe that I can change and touch the people's life. With all those techniques, I can make a more fruitful and wonderful life of a child.
So for every situation we have games, and we are getting it, so we are almost like ready, go and share it with the world.